estate planning. No one really wants to talk about it. Oh, I don't want to think about that. But you know what? Here's the deal. We don't get to choose when we exit this world, but we do get to choose how our stuff's divided up and the peace that we give to our loved ones so they don't have to fight over all your stuff once you're gone. Our next guest can help you do just that.
That's right. And if you're a planner, you already understand this. If this is one of the things that's been on your list you've been wanting to take care of, well, guess what? Today is the day. John Michelson is joining us now. He's an elder law attorney with the law firm of Michelson's and Associates. So great to talk to you again today. I mean, we've already established this is one of those things that people put off and put off. But let's talk about who your average client is who comes in to help you assist them in planning their estate.
That's interesting. When I started, I thought I would work with elderly people, senior people all the time. And we do work with a lot of seniors, but it's surprising how many young people come in. We have single mothers that come in, they have a 4-year-old child, and they want to make sure just in case something happens to them that the money they have might be spent for that child. So it really is all ages. It probably is skewed a little bit more. People get a little more serious when they get middle age, but
Yeah.
we have all ages that come in.
And I think we find ourselves sometimes thinking about we don't necessarily get the choice. So yeah, the younger you are, the smarter you are, frankly, at getting your ducks in a row. And it's
Yeah.
not just when you pass away as well. This can be for healthcare and other decisions you might not be able to make if you're incapacitated.
Absolutely. You hear in the years past the guardianship scandals we've had, definitely putting things in order yourself. You can designate people that you want, you trust, so they can protect you, especially if, as we get older, if there's diagnoses of dementia or that kind of thing, we can
Yeah.
kind of set it up ourselves ahead of time. It feels safer.
Well, absolutely. And John, I helped my father go through chemotherapy back in 2011, and he passed. And so I kind of walked through this whole experience with him. And certainly, when it comes to the point in your life where, God forbid, you do get sick, these are things that it's such a blessing to already have in place. We talked a little bit about, about belongings, about pa- passing on, your home, your finances. What else does an estate plan consist of?
It consists of saying what you want and the type of care you want as well. The last few years, it's been amazing. We've seen a huge uptick in litigation, but typically it's estates or people where they don't have any plan in place. And
Mm,
sometimes what happens is that they'll have a stranger or a neighbor or someone in their apartment complex that comes to help them at the last minute. And it's when we're in court, it's so much easier to put that to rest when we can show that they have a plan where I always designated my daughter again and again and
mm.
again.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, some neighbor comes into the picture. It's easy to show a judge, look, this is what my mom designated her daughter. And so I think there's a protection element there that where we show a pattern if we've kind of revisited it several times in our life.
Yeah.
Oh
100%. And
my.
if that plan's not there, you're kind of just leaving it up to the courts and litigation, and it can get really messy, can it?
Mm,
And expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
mm.
No question. So,
Yeah.
so how do we get the ball rolling on something like this? How do we start the plan if we wanted to begin?
Basically, you just you we can chat for a while on the phone, answer questions, kind of get a comfort level with who we are and what we do, and then we'll set up a time to meet and may need to send you some questionnaires. And it's as easy as that. You don't have to put together a lot of boxes of documents or anything like that. We actually discourage that. We just want to come in and talk for a while about what you want, about your family. Just need to know things like, do you have a blended family? Has there been remarriage? Is there any bad blood in the family? Do you have kids that have special needs you want to protect? Is there a likelihood that your son and daughter is going to fight each other? And we can talk about that. There's a lot of things we can do to prevent those things, or at least severely minimize those problems.
Yeah.
And
Is it-
John, real quick before we go, Sean, sorry to interrupt, but you and I are both the types who are, often looking to save a little bit of money. What about, those people who say, I don't need to get a formal will drawn up. I can find that online. A lot of people kind of taking these things into their own hands these days. Why do you caution against that?
I'm that kind of person myself. I love doing things myself, and I think that's one way to
Hmm.
go. But it is amazing how many times we get into court where someone. The reason we're in court, we have to be there, is because we're being hired by the family because grandma or grandpa filled something out incorrectly, or they did it wrong, or they didn't keep the original, and there's just a lot of problems that can happen. It's
Yeah.
much better to sometimes I liken it to, if you want to go run a river, do you want to just jump in the water and start on your own? Or would you rather have a guide there that can say, hey, let me cinch up your life jacket, and let me tell you that you got these rapids coming up, and this is the best place to stop for lunch. And so when you work with someone, you're getting an education, not just a document. It's
Yeah.
all the questions you want to ask, and we really have lots of options, great ways to protect assets for your kids. It's just exciting when you are willing to put into it, just like we do in everything else. We care about where we live, what school we go to, the kind of furniture we have.
Yeah.
Why don't we care about our legacy and our kids keeping a good relationship?
Well, it's great having you, my friend, and some powerful
Thanks, John.
information there. And hopefully we get people on the right path.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, michelsonlaw.com if you want to learn more. Their number as well on your screen, 702-731-2333. They have locations in Henderson and in Summerlin, and Michelson and Associates, proud sponsor of the Morning Drive.